King Charles starts eating lunch for the first time, and his favorite food may surprise you. King Charles has started eating lunch for the first time, and his go-to meal may come as a surprise. The monarch has spent much of his life skipping the meal, with a source claiming he has seen it as a luxury and not enough time in his schedule to fit it in. But now, after orders from his wife, royal aides and doctors, King Charles has accepted he needs to start eating in the middle of the day in order to keep his strength up. According to the Mail on Sunday, the 75-year-old has now got a taste for a millennial favorite avocado. The king, who is still recovering from his cancer diagnosis, insists he only eats the healthiest snack, which also happens to be one of the trendiest foods in the UK. A source told the Mail, with some reluctance, he now has something to eat at lunchtime, a snack, really. He now eats half an avocado to sustain him through the day. It's important, particularly if you have got an illness. Hello viewers, please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. Charles remains a healthy eater as he eats organic produce, eggs, with him telling the BBC 3 years ago how he abstains from meat and fish 2 days a week as well as avoiding dairy on one of those days. Avocados have been labelled a superfood, with them being dense in calories and known for being a healthy way of adding good fat into people's diets. But the Mirror reported earlier this year how Charles' new favourite lunchtime food may be in shortage across the world as a result of climate change. A report highlighted the terrible impact of climate change on avocado farming, with activists urging for increased support for those who cultivate the nutrient-packed fruit. Top avocado-producing nations such as Burundi, Chile, Peru, Spain, South Africa and Mexico are witnessing a downturn in crop yields due to erratic weather patterns, Christian Aid's recent study warns. The research predicts a potential decline in optimal growing areas ranging from 14% to a staggering 41% by 2050, contingent on the pace at which global emissions are curtailed. Even if the rise in global average temperature is kept below 2°C, Mexico, the world's leading avocado supplier, could face a reduction of up to 31% in suitable cultivation zones by mid-century. The situation could deteriorate further, with a possible 43% decrease if temperatures edge towards a 5°C increase. King Charles is allegedly willing to do whatever it takes to build a relationship with these royals, but we're not so convinced. Ingrid Seward, royal biographer and author of The Queen and The Untold Story, told Express that it's said King Charles doesn't get to see his son Prince Harry's kids more. Family has always been important to the king, she added. He remembers his own somewhat fragmented childhood as his parents were always busy doing their duty. It is a great sadness to him he doesn't see more of Archie and Lilibet. Despite the seemingly insurmountable rift between Charles and Harry, Seward says the monarch's childhood and his experience in the spotlight have made him more understanding. That is why he will never break ties with Harry, she continued. He does not want a FaceTime relationship with his son's children. He wants to know them and be involved with their lives while they are still young enough to be able to learn from his wisdom. His cancer has made it all the more poignant to him as he knows that he won't be around forever. And can we just acknowledge how side-eye worthy that statement is? He wants to know his estranged grandkids so they can learn from his wisdom. He wants a deeper relationship for their benefit. Not for his. Come on, Grandpa Charles. You should want to have a meaningful relationship with your kind and funny grandkids across the pond because you want to know them. Do we really have to spell this out? Insiders say the monarch is open to doing whatever it takes to make sure that his relationship with Archie and Lilibet goes beyond the occasional FaceTime call, per in style, but we just don't buy it. If he's willing to do whatever it takes, he could hop on a plane headed to his grandkids' home in California. Or, he could push British lawmakers so that his son could finally get adequate security for his family to safely visit the United Kingdom. Earlier this year, An insider shared a similar sentiment with the Daily Mail. Charles values family above everything, they said, and whatever the course of his relationship with his son, he would never be content with just seeing his grandchildren on the odd video call. The monarch was reportedly keener than ever to make up for lost time with the grandkids he's only met a handful of times. And yet, it's been 3 months since those remarks were made, and the king has still not made a move to impart his wisdom on 2 of his 5 grandkids. Sadly, we won't be holding our breath for it to happen anytime soon. King Charles, set to ban historic word during upcoming royal tour. King Charles is set to ban a historic word during his upcoming royal tour with Queen Camilla, it has been claimed. The term walkabout will not be used on the King and Queen's tour of Australia and Samoa out of respect for Australia's indigenous communities. The phrase, coined by Queen Elizabeth II 54 years ago, is set to be replaced with opportunity to meet the public, out of respect for the customs and traditions of Aboriginal communities. The term has come to mean a member of the royal family meeting, and greeting well-wishers. However, it is used in Aboriginal culture when a person travels on foot into the bush in times of ritual, meditation, change, grief or coming of age. Therefore, the phrase will not be used by Buckingham Palace during the October trip, the first long-haul tour undertaken by the king since his diagnosis with cancer, according to reports in the Telegraph. This tour is understood to be the first trip where the term has been deliberately avoided. It will be Charles's first return to Australia and Samoa as king and the head of the Commonwealth. The tour has been adapted in line with doctors' advice, Buckingham Palace has confirmed. The 9-day visit will factor in some rest periods after the long-haul travel, and will not include any evening engagements in Australia. The king, who is receiving treatment for cancer at the age of 75, will undertake several engagements relating to the disease. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla, 77, will attend events for her key causes of preventing violence against women, and promoting literacy. Engagements will focus on acknowledging and honoring Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island culture and traditions. The King and Queen will attend a community barbecue, a staple of Australian culture, in Western Sydney, as well as learn about bushfire prevention and native plants. The tour was originally intended to include New Zealand, however, it was scaled back on medical advice. A Buckingham Palace spokesman said, "We've had to, as you would with any visit, think about how you can ensure Their Majesty's energies are preserved to be at their best." There had been some hope earlier in the year for Their Majesties to be able to visit New Zealand. On doctors' advice, and in close consultation with the Australian and New Zealand governments, that wasn't able to take place. Thanks for watching, please don't forget to like this video and drop comments. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.